All right. As Prof. NG has mentioned, I am Marisa Lim. I'm an undergraduate studying right now in NUS and majoring in biomedical engineering. So I'm here today to share with you on my mindfulness journey. And just like Lorraine, I embarked on my mindfulness journey earlier this year in January when I enrolled in a course taught by Miss Angie Chu called An Undefeated Mind in Residential College 4. So during the course, I was reading about Dr. John Kabat-Zinn, who is the founding father of mindfulness-based stress relief, or MBSR for short. So when asked to describe what mindfulness was, he once said, "You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf." And when I came across this quote, it actually stuck with me throughout the rest of the course because I found it quite relatable to what I was going through at that point in time. So adjusting to junior college and university was a really difficult thing for me. And as I learned to transition towards a more independent learning style, and as I started to socialize more with my friends within and outside school, I was often busy with my studies, my co-curricular activities, events in schools, and other projects throughout my JC and my first year of university. But of course, these all came at a cost. So the stress I felt from managing my studies, my social life, and family was building up over the past few years. And it was as if it was like a tsunami heading for the shore. But instead of acknowledging and looking out for this tsunami, I continued to busy myself as a distraction. So for many years, I believed that, if I could ignore the waves life was throwing at me, they would somehow disappear one day. But of course, I was terribly mistaken. So when the tsunami hit, or when I couldn't take the stress any longer, I realized that I could no longer stay oblivious. And this had a repercussion on the people around me as I began to close off from my parents underneath all the stress that I was feeling. So with all the stress came lots of mental noise and negative thoughts constantly flooding my head, making me paranoid about the people around me. And this made me isolate myself from the people I was closest to, my parents, making them strangers and leading to a severed relationship over those years. So while my parents struggled to mend their relationship with me, their relationship with each other and also with my brother was strained because of all this unhappiness in our household too. So life was a mess, and it was a struggle to keep my head up and go about my daily tasks every day for those 3 years. It felt like no matter how much effort I put into getting up, I'd be torn down again by yet another big wave. But when I enrolled in this course about mindfulness at the start of this year, I actually told myself that if I couldn't stop the waves of stress that were crashing over me constantly, I might as well learn to surf them. However, I, of course, found myself falling over and over again at the start of my mindfulness journey. And I anticipated being uncomfortable, having to become aware of my inner thoughts and feelings. But that was my first significant hurdle that I had to overcome in my journey of change. So as I became more mindful of what was going on inside, I became aware of my two biggest challenges within myself. And these were keeping new habits and accepting change. So as part of the course, we had to adopt mindfulness practices for extended periods of time. So such as breath awareness practices, body scans, and yoga practices. And these were difficult for me to keep up with as I found them time consuming. So I felt that there was a lack of sincerity whenever I was doing these practices because I was often distracted. I would finish them hurriedly or even skip some of them. And one day I decided to reflect and ask myself, why do I actually find these practices time consuming? So I realized that the need to be productive, to rush to finish things, and the fear of falling behind others actually drove me to have a negative judgment of these new habits. And essentially, this all stemmed from the mental noise that was happening constantly within my mind. And this was the first big challenge that I had to overcome in my mindfulness journey. The next big challenge I had was accepting change. And for me, change evokes fear and discomfort. Throughout this journey, I knew that if I wanted to improve, I had to make changes to my life, in my daily habits, my outlook, and attitude towards life and people around me. So the critical question I reflected on was, why am I so afraid of change, even if it's for the better? So I was self-conscious and afraid of people's responses to me changing. And I would even go ahead and judge myself. And again, this was all coming from the mental noise and the negative thoughts that perpetually flooded my head. So both challenges had something in common. They were the result of the constant mental noise and the negative thoughts I had. Realizing this, the solution seemed simple at first. Just calm the mind and keep it quiet. But I soon discovered that, this was far from simple, and I had to have a game plan. So I set myself 2 goals here to become more patient, non-striving, and present, as well as to become more non-judging as a person. And as such, with mindfulness as my surfboard, I was determined to learn to surf the waves of life. So firstly, I set daily reminders for myself, and I achieved this with a journal that I keep to record down my successes and my challenges every day. This was something that I actually picked up from The Ragged Edge of Silence by Dr. John Francis, which is a book that we all had to read during the course. And during his journey of silence, Dr. John Francis actually kept a journal to express his thoughts and emotions every day. And this inspired me to do the same. So keeping a journal helped to keep me in check and also reminded me daily of why I was on this journey of change. The next milestone in my journey was a silent retreat during the course. So just like how Dr. John Francis did for 17 years, as a class, we spent a day together in silence, away from friends, away from technology. So being silent actually brought to awareness all the mental noise and the negative thoughts that were constantly flooding my mind. In the beginning, I was definitely uncomfortable, but hour by hour, I found myself being able to sit comfortably with less thoughts flooding my head. After a good 8 hours of silence, I learned a lot about how to control the mental noise in my mind and calming myself in times of stress. Sorry, just give me a moment. Sorry, can I just check that my audio is still working?
Your audio is working fine, Marisa.
All right, thank you. Okay, so let me just continue. Okay, so finally, the last milestone that I had was actually coming out of my self-induced isolation and reconciling with my parents, whom I had shut out for a long time because of the stress I was under. And so during the course, we were actually encouraged to write letters and open up to our parents, and having conversations with honesty and kindness with our parents. So as I had learned to calm my mind, I also learned to stay calm in uncomfortable conversations with them. As a child, I always saw my parents as perfect people, and I could hardly accept whenever they made mistakes. But now I have learned to acknowledge that they may have their own mental noise, and that may be tormenting them too, and that I can be more generous with my kindness and forgiveness towards them. So actually, closer to my heart, this year in February, when I was in the middle of my academic semester, my maternal grandmother actually passed away rather suddenly. And this was an extremely painful and difficult time for me and my family. Um, I had to struggle with managing my grief and balancing my academics because I had quite a few tests and examinations coming up. And it was a painful time for my parents too. And we were all under emotional stress during this period. So during this time, when we were faced with such, difficulty, I actually learned that we had to mutually be strong for each other. And in supporting each other during times of difficulty, it brought us together and further mended our relationship. So eventually, this was how, bit by bit, I managed to repair my relationship with my parents. Having embarked on this self-discovery journey with mindfulness, I have learned to manage the noise and thoughts that constantly flooded my head and take a breather or two in stressful situations. My parents are now the people that I actually remain closest to and trust the most as I continue to venture through university. And while they may not be perfect, I know that they are the best parents that I could ever ask for. So returning back to this quote by Dr. John Kabat-Zinn, although there are still some very choppy and rocky waves in my life, I now know that I am brave enough to navigate and surf these waves. And then again, although I still fall over from time to time, I know that I am working towards a better version of myself every day, as well as spreading love and kindness to my parents and the people around me. So I just like to thank all of you for your attention, and I wish everyone all the best in learning to surf the waves in your own life. Thank you.